Fear isn't your enemy. It's the elite's secret weapon. Wall Street traders, UFC fighters, and billionaires are addicted to fear. It sharpens their focus, turbocharges reflexes, and turns risk into reward. Today, I'll show you how to hack fear without crashing, and why your comfort zone is costing you millions. You will learn the steps to control fear in any scenario. Walk up to your crush and say hi without sweating. Pitch your ideas to the audience like it's a TED Talk. Weaponize fear instead of cowering from it. This isn't feel-good advice. This is the unethical truth the 1% won't tell you. And in 4 minutes, I'll give you the hacks to turn panic into power. Let's cut through the bullshit. Fear isn't weakness, it's your brain's cheat code. Hidden deep in your skull is a tiny almond-shaped gland called the amygdala. And right now, it's screaming at you to run, to hide, to play safe. But here's the unethical truth. Fear isn't your enemy. It's your edge. See this? When fear hits, your amygdala floods your body with cortisol, the stress hormone. But here's what they don't teach you. A NIH study proved that same surge also triggers dopamine, the I just won the lottery chemical. That's right. Fear isn't just panic. It's a dopamine jackpot waiting to be hacked. Think about it. Why do Wall Street traders thrive in market crashes? Why do UFC fighters like Conor McGregor lean into pre-fight terror? Because panic isn't chaos, it's hyperfocus. Your brain strips away distractions and locks onto one goal: survive. Survive a punch, survive a crash, survive a negotiation. And partner, survival pays. Take Navy SEALs. They don't avoid fear, they rehearse it. They call it stress inoculation. They simulate drowning, hypothermia, and ambushes until panic becomes a tool. Why? Because a Stanford study found that controlled fear rewires your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes decisions. The more you practice fear, the colder your logic gets. Here's the kicker. Too much fear, you crash. Too little, you get lazy. But controlled fear, that's the sweet spot. It's like your brain's smoke alarm. Stop silencing it. Start using it to find the fire. Bottom line, your amygdala isn't broken. You've just been taught to fear. Fear. But the 1%, they're addicted to it. And in 60 seconds, I'll show you how to steal their playbook. The 1% don't just tolerate fear, they manufacture it. Take Ray Dalio, the billionaire behind Bridgewater. His secret? Radical transparency. He forces employees to critique each other's ideas publicly. Dalio calls this the pain button. Every failure, every critique, every "you're wrong" is a jolt to the amygdala. And guess what? That jolt sharpens focus like a diamond-tipped blade. Traders at Goldman Sachs, they're trained to panic early, to front-run market crashes by leaning into their own terror. Because fear isn't random noise, it's data. Think of Warren Buffett. Dude bets billions on stocks that terrify him. Why? Because fear highlights risks everyone else ignores. In 2008, while the world panicked, Buffett bought Goldman Sachs at rock-bottom prices. His secret? Be fearful when others are greedy. Translation: fear isn't your enemy. It's your radar. But here's the kicker. You don't need billions to weaponize fear. You just need 3 tactics stolen from the elite's playbook. Before launching a product, a startup, even a damn TikTok, ask, what's the worst that could happen? Write it down and stress test everything. A Harvard study found pre-mortem analyses slash failure rates by 29%. Example: Airbnb's founders feared bankruptcy during COVID, so they slashed costs and pivoted to long-term stays. Now they're worth $100 billion. Ask for radical transparency and invite criticism. Beg for it. Because fear of looking stupid forces you to prep harder. Try this. Send your resume to a friend and say, roast it. The panic will make you rewrite it 10 times sharper. Another tip is to use panic windows. Elite traders use 5-minute bursts to freak out, then reset. Example: set a timer, scream into a pillow, then coldly analyze your next move. A University of Cambridge study found this reduces impulsive decisions by 41%. Fear, then focus. Rinse, repeat. Control your panic. Still think fear is your enemy? You're playing checkers. 1% play chess. And in 60 seconds, I'll show you how to steal their final move, turning panic into profit. It's time to stop running from fear and start refining it into rocket fuel. The 1% don't just survive panic, they thrive in it. And you're about to steal their 3 most unethical hacks to turn your amygdala into an ATM. Here's the rule. When fear hits, freeze for 5 seconds. Breathe. Let your amygdala dump its cortisol, then attack. Conor McGregor uses this to stay ice cold mid-fight. A University of Pennsylvania study found this pause reduces impulsive decisions by 52%. Elon Musk doesn't avoid fear, he journals it. Every SpaceX launch, he writes down his worst-case scenarios: explosions, bankruptcy, humiliation. A Harvard study shows this slashes anxiety by 60%. Why? Because fear on paper is a puzzle, not a monster. Journal your fear. Grab a pen. Write. If I fail, the worst that happens is, spoiler, you won't die. You'll just get smarter. The worst case bet. Stoic philosophers called this premeditatio malorum, premeditating evil. Warren Buffett used it in 2008 to buy Goldman Sachs at rock bottom prices. How? He asked, what's the absolute worst outcome? Then he bet on himself to survive it. Still think this is reckless? Let's get real. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. Navy SEALs, Buffett, Musk. They're not fearless. They're fear alchemists. And now, you've got their recipe. Your move, partner. A Mayo Clinic study found that short-term stress boosts immunity and sharpens cognition. You don't drown in fear. You surf it. Still think this is dangerous? Then stay mediocre. But if you want the 1%'s edge, stop whining and start adapting. Here's the brutal truth. You're not lazy. You're domesticated. You've been declawed by self-care platitudes and good vibes only bullshit. Meanwhile, the 1% are out here hunting with their fear like it's a goddamn weapon. You think Serena Williams apologizes for pre-match terror? Hell no. She weaponizes it into 130 miles per hour serves. Fear isn't your weakness. It's your evolutionary advantage. But you've been brainwashed to purr instead of roar. Enough theory. Time to hunt. Here's your mission. 1. Pick one fear you've been avoiding. Ask for the raise. Launch the side hustle. Bet $10 on a stock that terrifies you. 2. Use the 5-second rule. Freeze, breathe, then attack. 3. Comment, fear paid if it works. Comment, still scared if you choke. No judgment, just accountability. Smash subscribe, and if you're still too scared to share this video, tag the friend who will do it for you.